Okay, here we are with the second reaction video that Max has sent me. Or this is the first one Max has sent me. The other one was posted on the Mistdrop 44 WhatsApp group to have a look at, and that was what sort of prompted the idea to start reacting to videos. Eventually, hopefully, there'll be more people than just me here reacting to things, but at the moment, you're stuck with just little old me. I have no idea what this video is. I've never seen it. I know nothing apart from the title, which you guys can see now. So, with no information, I can't really even give you an introduction. So I guess we just hit play and see what we get.
Hey guys, this is World War II Studios.
Oh, you're very quiet. Let's turn you up a little bit.
Today I'm doing another D-Day gear video for the 101st Airborne. I know I did this like a year ago, but I think I've really improved on this impression. This is my 101st Airborne 506 gear. It's not for like any reenactment or anything that I have coming up. So
okay, so he the car going past in the background. So he's this isn't for a reenactment he's doing. This is just him and his impression.
Kind of all of my stuff. I mean, it's pretty accurate, but it might not be perfect.
Oh, that's a dangerous thing to say. This is pretty accurate. Okay, well, we'll delve into that a bit later.
Great for one event or anything, since most events are a bit later into the Normandy campaign, so you wouldn't have like a gas mask bag and stuff. I'll just do a quick spin around.
Okay, so E-tool, Carlisle pouch at the back, yeah. Canteen, good.
So there's kind of,
and he's got riggers. I mean, they're a horrific colour, but he has the right stuff. I mean, the quality of the riggers is, well, the colour is just bizarre. They almost look orange, but it's the right stuff. So good.
I have an overview of everything. So this is my rifle. Obviously, it's just my same.
Yeah, the ground.
Dated Springfield Graham.
No lock bar.
I do have my canvas sling on there right now, just because.
Yeah, and again, canvas sling. You know, I think there's that one picture of that one paratrooper. I think it was July 44, and he clearly has a canvas sling. It's just so rare. It's just unless you've got 500 guys in your unit, one of you might get away with it, but other than that, it's just a no. The early leather ones.
I don't have a really good reproduction leather sling. Some canvas slings were used as early as Normandy, but you won't see too much of it. But
no,
yeah, so I'm still using that. So for my helmet, as you can tell, it's just shell with nothing painted on it. This is an original shell that I got not too long ago. It's actually a 1945 shell. Yeah, I do have a 19. I'm not.
So yeah, it's swivel bail, but I mean, I've only just got my fixed bail helmet. I've got about 4 or 5 swivel bails, all wartime ones, but I've just finally got around to picking up a fixed bail one. So I know the frustration with picking this stuff up. And again, the helmets at the moment, the prices have just gone bananas. Yeah, I mean, painting the insignia on takes 5 minutes. Just grab some paint, just paint it on. So, yeah. It needs to have something on there, especially if you're doing 101st. Oh, I didn't do that. Oh, that was a good guess, wasn't it? The scrim's nice. The scrim's not that awful natural colour. It's dull. It looks good.
That the 506 didn't actually always paint spade on the side, so
not sure
yeah, there's
about
nothing there, and it's really just because I didn't want to paint a shell, especially one that's got original paint on it yet.
Oh, don't worry about painting on original. I mean, if you use something like acrylic, you can always take it off. It will look fine. I mean, that's oh, you're up there, aren't you? I forget that. I mean, that's on an original shell. It's just acrylic paint. If I really want to take that off, just take it off. If you've bought it to reenact in, make it look right.
Never paint over an original. So then got my original strap on there, and then too, which is like a later war strap. But yeah, I'm just using it for that.
Yeah,
and then I do have a helmet net and then scrim on there, which you'll see quite a few 506 people wearing helmet nets and scrim. And then
yeah, 506 is an interesting one with scrim. I mean, they all wear helmet nets. I think all of the 101st, unless you're that one guy, all have nets. And the 506 have a real mixture of scrim. Some have very little, some have none, and others have quite a bit. But it's not like the 502. The 502 was so scrim heavy. You look at all the guys; they all have scrim. but lots of the 506 just had none at all. I don't think any of the 502 guys had no scrim, unless you get that odd few. But yeah, the 506 is a real broad spectrum. You could get away with having none.
My liner shin strap on there, which is an early war one with green buckle on it. And then my airborne liner, but it's like all new stuff in there from J. Murray. I do have
J. Murray's good.
Another one, original, which is an airborne one, which still has all the original lining in it, but I didn't feel like putting that one on today. And
you got an original M1 paratrooper liner. You look after it. Don't wear it. You're doing the right thing. You leave it at home. Get a reproduction. Especially J. Murray. You can't go wrong.
So I'm just using this. So then for my uniform, I'm wearing my M42 jump uniform.
So yeah, it doesn't look like it's been CC2'd. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I've had this one for a couple years.
Or is it
now.
in wax?
I mean, it's still pretty good. It's like a cheap Chinese production, but it's actually like a pretty high quality one, I guess.
It's a let's recap what he just said. I don't know if you can hear the sound of it. It's a cheap Chinese reproduction, but a high quality one. Cheap Chinese, high quality. Yeah, we're just gonna whitewash over that whole thing. If it's cheap and it's Chinese, it's crap. There are no good ones. The buttons are usually wrong way around on the cuffs. Instead of going that way, they go this way. No.
But yeah, so I'm not sure if you can tell, but I did CC2 it.
Wax.
So yeah, it's a bit darker, and then there's a bit of white and stuff.
The right one.
Not sure how well that shows up on camera, but yeah, so that happened to every paratrooper uniform and like most uniforms that.
Okay, so he has made an effort to CC2 it. It's hard to tell. But I mean, wax. If it's wax or dubbing or something like that, it always looks a bit sort of sporadic. It looks a bit like it's been sort of wiped over with Vaseline in places. Best way, decking oil. Get a bucket. Put your uniform, your M42 trousers, M42 jacket in there. Soak the entire thing till it's absolutely sodden in decking oil. Hang it in the garden. Leave it in there. Just leave it there. Don't worry about it. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to run away. And let it dry. Sometimes it takes days. Sometimes it takes weeks. If it rains, it rains. Don't worry about it. This stuff is supposed to look used, and it will come out and it will look like it's been CC2'd. It will look uniform. It's all one colour. This stuff would have been dunked in vats en masse with, hundreds of other uniforms. It's not, somebody didn't sit there and rub this stuff in by hand like if you were doing it with like barber's wax and things like that. People say, oh yeah, that's the best way. No, it's not the best way. This way is easier. You dunk it, you hang it in the garden. Job done.
People used on D-Day. It was just to keep the gas out because they were.
Yeah, it's an anti-gas treatment.
The Germans were going to be using gas on the troops, but obviously they didn't. So most of them, like in the original photos, there's like photos of them boiling their uniforms.
Yeah, and that is exactly the picture I was going to refer to. Yeah, he's right. So okay, this guy has a lot of knowledge as well on what they were doing and why they were doing it. Yeah, they did. The CC2 is awful, and the decking oil simulates that uncomfortableness of your uniform. It will make you sweat like crazy. It does give it some waterproof qualities, which the M42 does not have when you buy it at the shop. But it will make you warm, which in the winter, fantastic. In the summer, not so much. But yeah, they boiled them in the big Calvados pots in Normandy, which the locals, just let them get on with. There's pictures of Frank Lillyman's Pathfinders when they're standing in their M42 wool trousers with the M42 jackets. The 42 jackets, they're almost white where they've been boiled, and the only reason they're wearing wool trousers is because the M42s obviously didn't survive the boiling process, or they're still drying somewhere, but the wool trousers were worn underneath the M42s. So they didn't magically summon these trousers up, they were already wearing the wool trousers.
And that's to try to get the CC2 out, because it's very thick and heavy, and it makes it a lot hotter. As you can tell here, I'll go a bit more over here.
See, it looks really patchy.
See what it looks like, in case the color isn't really showing up too well. So I'm
yeah,
not sure how well you can see that, but from this color to this color here, this is the color that the uniform used to be, because it's just under the pockets. And then this is like the color that it is now, so it's just a bit darker.
Yeah, so you've got that mixture of colours. It's not uniform. It's obviously he's rubbed it into whatever places to simulate the CC2. It's far easier to just dunk it in decking oil.
all over, and then
And I will specify decking oil, not varnish. Now I know, like you guys are probably going, what the hell? Why would you put it in varnish? Well, let me make this clear. We have one guy in our group. I did mention varnish in a different sort of conversation, and I did say varnish. But when it comes to doing the CC2 process, we did all specify oil. But he misunderstood, and his trousers stood up on their own after coating them in varnish, as you can imagine. And they really did stand up on their own because, you know, varnish sets solid. So, you know, he was beating his stuff with a hammer. So it was an interesting learning
there's quite a
curve.
bit, like white
Specify
spots and
oil.
stuff like that.
Sorry, Harry.
Yeah, so you can see how it looks on the trousers. So yeah, what I did, I just took Vaseline.
There we go. It was Vaseline. Yep, which makes perfect sense. He rubbed Vaseline in.
And then you just wipe at it. You just wipe it in till it's kind of like
It's just hard
gone,
work.
sort of. And then yeah, and then I put some flour on it. And that's
Flat. Yeah, and again, the first M42 that I CC2'd, I did go to rubbing some chalk dust in to simulate the sort of residue in the powder, but there was so little of it that there's no point, and then it just fades away and washes out, and you walk outside and it blows off. Ignore the residue, the white powder, folks. It's
how I
not
got
worth
the
the
white
effort.
spots.
But you use flour.
While you're putting the Vaseline on, that way it'll all dry in there at once. So then you're gonna want to wait like a couple hours and make sure it's fully dry, and then after that, then you're gonna want to iron the uniform, and that is just gonna get all the like oiliness off of it, so that way
Iron it to get the oiliness off. No, it's supposed to be disgusting.
Yeah, but I think it looks really good, and
it looks okay.
Yeah,
let's
so,
not go. Let's not go
cheap.
really good. It does look. It does look
Impression
a
on
lot
the
better than if you just go to the shop and buy
Quite
one.
a few ways you can do it.
Definitely.
If you just look it up, there's some other good ways. But yeah, so this is what I did. Dubbing also works well. I just don't have too much of it. So
Don't use dubbing. Don't use Vaseline.
Yeah, and
wax.
then got my jump boots on, and then underneath.
At least his kit looks like he's worn it before. It looks dirty. It looks used. You know, some guys' kit it looks brand new. Don't polish your boots. If you're in Normandy, you know, you've jumped out of a plane, you've run through hedges, you've crawled across fields. You know, they should not look brand new, sparkly, shiny. Your best boots were you had 2 pairs of boots. Your best boots were your A-class. Your other boots you'd have worn every damn day. They would not look brand new, sparkly, shiny.
Shirt, which I got.
Hooray!
A bit ago,
He wears a wool
but
shirt.
that's
This will
the
become a
only
thing we
listed
always
one
look for.
that's accurate,
So many guys
which,
don't wear a wool shirt. They wear,
they all would have
God,
worn on D-Day.
a white Toccoa
And,
t-shirt.
I'm also wearing my gas breast guard over here, which
Yep.
yeah, most of them took them off like right away because I mean it's really annoying.
Oh, they didn't necessarily take them off. Usually they fell to bits. They're only paper and card, and when it got wet, they just, you know, disintegrated, and all that movement of webbing and straps and taking your parachute off and your Mae West, it just gets abused, and they just get caught on everything. They just fell to pieces.
But I'm just leaving it on here for now, just so you guys can see it. And then I have my 101st Airborne patch on the side
101st
as well.
chicken, as we
This is
call
then
it.
for my like web gear and stuff. So obviously I'm wearing my M6 gas mask bag, which I think was from like Epic Militaria.
Yeah, it looks like an Epic one. It's a bit shiny, but you know they're okay, and they're useful to keep stuff dry in as well. You can obviously get the I can't remember which national, maybe Yugoslavian gas mask, which you can turn into. Is it M7s? Wait, it's an M. Oh, I can't remember which way around it is, which way the bag is, which way the mask is. But you can paint it black in rubberized paint and paint the lens surrounding pieces grey, and they do look like the gas mask. Or you fill it full of stuff you want to keep dry.
I got it for cheap just because they had made it wrong, but I fixed what they had done wrong. So yeah, it's a pretty good gas mask bag, I guess. You know, I'd probably recommend getting at the front, but
exactly. See, he knows. It's not the best. You want the best one at the front. If you want a good one, yeah, that is the only one really. If you're going through a good authentic look, at the front.
Expensive. So I mean, it just depends.
You get
how
what you
much
pay
wanna
for with
spend
them, though.
to get your stuff. Obviously, the more expensive, usually it's going to be a lot better quality, but it's not always true. But yeah.
No,
so,
you're right. It's not always true. Paying a lot of money for something doesn't mean it's going to be better than somebody else's. And you look at the rigger pouches for that. HTC, £10 a rigger pouch, and they are spot on. They are custom made. They're made for you when you need them on the spot, and they are fantastic. They're the correct size. They are the correct colour. They are they are exactly right. You look at Soldier of Fortunes, you probably pay about £2 less, or maybe probably about the same price, especially after postage, because the soft postage is quite high. Let's be honest. So you're paying the same money, but the quality is just miles apart.
At the front makes good stuff for most things. And then yeah, so for my web gear, as you can tell, also my pockets are very full, which is very accurate because most paratroopers.
Yep, as you said, I mean, you look like you've grown breasts. There's a bit, I'd say too much in there, because that would look uncomfortable, especially when moving webbing. Your suspenders, you're gonna be shouldering a rifle. Those look like they're gonna get in the way. But at least it's better to have stuff in them and look too much than too little.
We're planning to stay there at least like 3 days without being resupplied.
Yeah.
So I mean, they were full.
They were going to be there a while.
I'm probably not even carrying nearly enough stuff. Lots of them would like totally fill out their musette bag and pockets, and then have like an extra GP ammo bag and stuff. But,
yeah. See, this guy's obviously, he has done some research, definitely. He's quoting things like GP ammo bags, and yeah, your musette bag would have had all your personal stuff, as well as extra ammunition that you were issued to carry for the squad-based weapons, depending on your unit. Different units did different things. Guys were given mortar rounds, they were given 30-06 in belts, they were given rifle grenades to carry along, just to get the stuff to France.
Yeah, this is just what I'm wearing for now.
But
So
GP bag would be a good
here.
addition to his impression.
I did,
Definitely.
make it a bit looser, just because you'll see lots of photos of like the 506 in Normandy, where they'll just be wearing their gear kind of not really like too tight or anything. I'm not sure if that's just because they
The classic
didn't want to
picture.
have it all on super tight for the photos or anything, or if that's actually how they wore it all. So I tried to capture that a bit. Like, yeah, you also see lots of them carrying their canteen like in the front. I've even seen some of them carrying their shovel in the front.
Yeah.
I would think.
Well, the shovel is just that awkward thing to carry. No matter where you put it, it either looks wrong, feels awkward, catches and everything. You kick it, you can't sit down. Yeah, it really is a personal thing where you put your e-tool, whether it's an axe, whether it's a 43 shovel, whether it's a Picmatic. It's that really is down to you. You get odd quirks with things like the Carlisle pouch and the canteen. The 502 seem to have a lot of them right in the centre, right at the back. And I can't remember which way around, which they tend to always do it the same way around for some reason. It's just one of those weird little quirks. Lots of different the regiments have their own sort of isms, and that's one of the 502s, weirdly.
Very uncomfortable, but yeah, so I didn't do that, but yeah, so I'm wearing a pistol belt instead of my regular cartridge belt.
Good.
And that's just because you'll see most of them using rigger pouches and
Yeah, well, no, none of them should be
rigger
using.
pouches, and then
None of them should be using cartridge belts. They should all be using pistol belts. You're spot on. That is the look.
the pistol belt instead of a cartridge belt. So I just wanted to do that, especially since lots of reenactors will just use the cartridge belt, which I mean it's accurate. It's just
No, it's not
kind
accurate.
of overdone. So
No. It's not accurate. If you are a paratrooper in Normandy, you wear a pistol belt and rigger pouches. If you're a glider infantry troop, whatever you want to call it, some of those, yes, I think most of those had cartridge belts. I don't know 100% because that's not my area. We've stuck to 101st paratroopers, 501, 502, and 506. But the glidermen, I think the glidermen did wear cartridge belts more than pistol belts.
So I've got my two rigger pouches here, which are both reproductions. Yeah, they look pretty good. And I just have them
No,
with
not
envelopes.
pretty good. The colour is horrific.
And then right here I've got a bayonet.
Good, bayonet's
which,
nice touch.
You don't really see too many paratrooper reenactors carrying bayonets.
No, you're right, but they should. If you had a Garand, you carried a Garand bayonet. There are no exceptions to this. That's what you carried.
But if you look at the original photos, you don't always see them carrying them, but you will see them using them.
Yeah, 502 had the instructions as soon as they landed to attach the bayonet. And even I think about 2 or 3 days later, you can still see them with the bayonet attached because nobody tells them to take it off, so it's still there. And a load of the pictures in Mark Desrez's, no, Michael, I keep calling him Mark Banda, that's why. Michael Desrez's books, you can see the bayonet being still on the gun days after the jump.
And then I've seen a couple other photos of them going into Normandy with their bayonet, like right here, right behind their gas mask bag. So I decided to put mine there. So for the shovel, it's a all original shovel,
Yeah,
and
it's nice.
then an original carrier as well, which is transitional shovel carrier. Yeah.
I'm a sucker for transitional stuff. I just think it just has an extra a quality to it, an extra, it just looks more impressive. And the thing is, when transitional was out years ago, people would always hunt out the normal, the plainer stuff, and transitional was all sort of snubbed. But now it seems to have gone the other way, and people go, "Oh, I want transitional."
You will see some transitional stuff in Normandy, especially shovel covers.
Yeah.
Most of these folding shovel covers were made in the transitional or just fully OD7. But yeah, you'll see quite a few of those. But yeah, other stuff you won't see as much. But you do see some other transitional items being used as early as Normandy.
Yeah, transitional comes in, quite early for shovel covers. I think they were only transitional until the OD7 ones come out. And the OD7, one of our guys, Max, he has a 43 dated OD7 shovel cover. With the one tab, not the system of 3 adjustable suspension loops, pegs, holes, whatever you want to call them. So the OD7 ones were around from 43, probably late 43, but by the time of Normandy, they were probably being worn. Well, they would have been worn.
And then I've got my canteen right here on my side, which I don't really like carrying it there too much, just because that's where my rifle usually is.
Wind.
Usually I carry it a bit back further, but
Yeah, if you can't hear him, there's a lot of traffic going on. So it's on full volume on YouTube, but there's a lot of traffic. There's wind, so if you can't hear him, I'm sorry, but he's just saying about it's a pain in the ass to have the water bottle there.
yeah, I just wanted to get a bit more of that how they looked in actually Normandy, but yeah. So
But a lot of the things, if you look at 20 guys from one unit, the webbing will be different on pretty much all of them. Unless they have those weird quirks where they've all sort of followed the same sort of pattern. Most of them will have it laid out to how they wanted it laid out. So you might see all the guys with the guys with canteen covers on the left, some with the right, some on the front, some on the back. It's where you want it. And that's what I love about the US webbing. It's so versatile. You can adjust things, and you can stack things as well sometimes by having something on the top 2 rings, just so you can budge something over on the bottom. Then you see that in original pictures as well. If you look really, really closely, you can see where they've double stacked things as well.
I've got my original Carlisle pouch.
Centre
right
back.
here. And then so I'm just wearing that in the back, just kind of keep it out of the way. You don't really see any paratroopers wearing it in the front. Ever.
No, you do see them on the front, and you see them all over the place. It's it's a small thing, so it's quite handy on the front. It stops the riggers from falling off when the belt's undone. It can be on the back. Yeah, they can be anywhere.
Takes up space on your belt, and then you don't have room for your ammo, which is really what you're going to need. So it's an original Musette bag, which I got like a year ago. So this is kind of just like an overview of all my web gear, so you can see how it all looks laying out. I didn't really mention the suspenders at all, but they're a reproduction, and then I've got felt pads on there as well, which
Yes, he's used shiny electrical tape. It shouldn't be shiny electrical tape, guys. If you're going to tape your suspenders up, which I recommend you do, it looks good. You see it in so many pictures. Use the fabric tape. Use on like ice hockey, any hockey really. The fabric tape. Also black or white. You look in pictures, you see white tape being used quite a lot. I know it's weird. I don't know why they had so much white tape. But yeah, white or black.
Used during Normandy, but they took them off pretty soon after they landed. It's really just kind of to help make sure that they don't like dig into your shoulders while you're jumping or anything.
No, they didn't take them off. They probably just fell apart. They're pretty, and they're grey. They're there are really awful reproductions. They should be brown, a sort of brown. They, I mean, they are horrible. They're all horrible. They're just an awful thing. I hate having to have them. I think they're ugly. They just get caught up. They get tangled up. They get twisted. It's just webbing isn't bad enough to put on and take off without getting twisted. The second you put it down, it's like putting a pair of mobile phone earphones in your pocket. The second you take them out, they're all tangled again. Even if you put them away really carefully, out they come, giant knots. How the hell does it happen? Same with webbing. Put it down carefully, pick it up, giant tangle. You can't put it on. It's all twisted. You need 12 people to help you stretch it out and put it on your shoulders. And that is just another thing that gets all tangled up. But yeah, they should be brown fibrous, not grey. It's.
Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this video. I kind of went over everything. But, I mean, if you really want to do like an airborne impression, I definitely recommend do your research.
Yes.
You'll see lots of reenactors.
Exactly what he says. If you're going to do it, do some research. And he has. There are a few things, the colours of the riggers are horrific. The shoulder pads, they're grey, they're brown, they should be brown. But he knows what he's talking about. He says a lot of things which, he's obviously done some research. And that is the key thing that we've learned. I mean, I dread to think how much money I've spent on books by not so much Mark Banner. Some of them are okay. His patch books are good. Michael Detrez, his books, the 2 books on Carentan, the later books on Market Garden, At the Point of No Return, American Warriors, the Samara Glees book. Yeah, there's some amazing content in there. Just the photographs alone, it just shows you exactly what they were doing, what they were wearing, how they were wearing it, and a lot of these pictures have never been seen before, and it's a truly fantastic resource. There's other books like the American Paratrooper Helmet book. There is so much information just in that one alone about helmets and the different types of ways they painted the unit markers. And, as he says, do some research. It is the key thing to doing this hobby right.
That just apparently just look at other reenactors or something. I don't know, because it's just not accurate.
Yes, exactly. Don't do what other reenactors are doing, because you have no idea where they've got their information from. They probably popped into any old place, or, I'll have an M42. What else do you sell to go with that? And then the guy went behind the counter, we've got a parachute scarf we can sell you. We've got a pair of aviator sunglasses. Would you like a Camp Toccoa t-shirt to go with that, sir? Yeah, you don't go by what other guys are wearing. Do some research. Have a look. Look at some original pictures. And you just get that knowledge. Yeah, I like his attitude to it. He speaks a lot of sense.
I'm not saying that mine's perfect either. I'm always trying to make my impressions better. I mean, obviously, if you see something that's wrong on my impression, let me know in the comments and I'll try to fix it. But, yeah. So
do you know what? I really like this guy. He has that ethos of, do research. Great, because most reenactors, they just don't care. They're just told to go and buy this, or they go and buy that, and they put it on. And it's like their mums dress them as well. They just wear, the stuff wears them. They don't wear the kit. Don't listen to other people. Do some research for yourself. Fantastic. And as he says, if something's not right, tell me. Which is great. The things we point out to people all the time. You say, we don't know if you know or you're interested, but you're doing X, Y, and Z. Well, you should be doing this, this, and this. It's easy to improve this. You just do this. He wants to know. He wants to improve. Fantastic, because there's so many guys. You say, if you just did this, it would look so much better. And they go, why do I want to do that? Well, you're doing this hobby. You say you're doing it authentically, and if you just do that, it just gives it that little bit extra. I'm not doing that. Okay, we're just trying to help you. Take it on board. Don't take it on board. It's fine. But he wants to improve.
And there's lots of little things you can do just to make it better.
Yeah.
Obviously, filling up your pockets at least a bit. It depends what time you're trying to go for. If it's already.
Again, he hits on another interesting point. Yeah. What is your impression? When is it? Is it D-Day 1? Is it D-Day plus 10? Because those 9 days in between there and there, you will have used loads of ammo. You would have thrown away most things like your gas mask bag. That would have been ditched to the hedge, carrying that damn thing around. Gas brassard would probably be just the loop left. That was all that would have been left. You would have just got rid of so much stuff and acquired other things. You probably wouldn't have had a bandolier because you probably would have used all that and it would have snapped, or you would have lost things. Or the look, you would have been filthy for one thing. You sleep outdoors for 10 days and you tell me how clean you're going to be. Your boots would be covered in shit. Your rifle will still be clean, so obviously that's important. You look after that. But your general impression, you would be filthy. You have to know who you are, what rank you are, what role you are, what unit you're in. Now, I say what unit you're in. Some guys just do 101st, and they have no idea whether they're 501, 502, 506. They don't even know if they're a paratrooper or a glider infantryman. They just... How can you start an impression without knowing the very, very basics?
Days into the Normandy invasion, obviously the gear was very different by then, but so just do lots of research, especially on the specific unit you're portraying. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, interesting video, Max. I like the kid. He speaks a lot of sense. There's certain things he can improve, definitely. Forget the Vaseline nonsense. CC2, decking oil. The riggers need to go and be replaced with good HTC ones. I'd probably have 3 rather than 2, but again, you see 2, you see 3, you see 4. You see more on some guys, but they're an exception. But it's a fantastic start to a really, really impressive impression. Yeah, I like him. Yeah, he speaks a lot of sense as well. He has that ethos that we like in MD44, where, if I'm not right, tell me. If I can improve, I will. Which is great. Fantastic. A real quality for the hobby. Right, I'm going to sign off and have another beer and possibly look at another video. Until next time.